Hi trader, welcome to the weekly Forex video. My focus for this week is on the US dollar and the weakness that it's showing. First of all though, be aware that this video is shown to a global audience. It may not be suitable for everyone. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity for more details. Also please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered higher risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. I wanted to start this particular video with the pound USD. I like the cable because of the fact that it's showing such a strong momentum last week. You can see price breaking through here and rising very quickly with good momentum. Look at that. It was a move that broke through the 130 and it went about more than 200 pips. On a 4-hour chart, you can see the price when breaking this, basically making this momentum, it broke through the resistance. We could put a trend line from here to here, and you can see the price nicely went through 130, round level, and the resistance trend line, and broke to the upside. So I think that considering the momentum that we see here on the 4-hour chart, and of course also the uptrend that was present here, this looks like a corrective pullback, and price broke already above that particular trend line a while ago. So from my perspective, this looks like momentum pullback continuation with the break that I see here with good 4-hour candles and a good daily candle too, like this very strong daily candle, as you can see, maybe on the weekly chart as well. Yes, indeed, look at the weekly candle, same thing. These particular candles show strength, show from my perspective a high chance of a good breakout, a breakout that doesn't turn into a false break. With the candle close so near the high, that indicates that the bulls remain in control on both the daily and the weekly time frames. So I think having a candle on the weekly a fib on the weekly candle or a fib on the daily candle are both good ideas. I think at this moment I have it kind of in between both these candles, but I have it basically on this particular 4-hour move or 1-hour impulse, as you can see here. So that's where I have the top, the bottom to top, and I'm looking for retracement to the 23.6, the 38.2, or the 50 fib, max 61.8. I do think that the broken resistance right here will turn into support. That's a good chance. There's also a weekly pivot point there. Plus, of course, the even round level of 130 acts as a psychological barrier as well, and which should provide extra support in that zone. So we have, a couple of reasons there why price should bounce roughly between 129.75 and 130.50. Let's say 130.40 here. So price is approaching the 23.6 fib, but at this moment, I personally think that there's a good chance there will be some reaction, but I think that it will just continue down to the 38.2 fib in kind of a corrective channel, make some kind of bull flag chart pattern, which is a chart pattern that shows a high chance of bullish continuation. And I think that the target for such a break, pullback, continue basically is the minus 272 target for the moment, 131.67. But I wouldn't be surprised if price can extend up to 132.50, 132.40, and perhaps 133, later this week or perhaps next week. So pound dollar to me looking bullish as long as it stays above the 61.8. If for whatever reason somehow price breaks below the 61.8 fib, then I don't think it's necessarily right away bearish, but I'll definitely be cautious with my bullish outlook, and I would have to reanalyze that. It's not something I expect, but if it does, then I basically treat the pound dollar as a neutral kind of situation. We'll be reviewing, of course, the pound dollar throughout the week. Nanette, first of all, on Monday, then Wednesday, he has his live trading session. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll take a look at that and other currency pairs and other financial instruments, of course. And Thursday, we continue with summer webinar topics, light topics that we want to discuss that we think are interesting, like reward to risk ratios and how to tackle summer trading. So join us in one or all of these webinars, of course. We're looking forward to see you soon. This is the dollar-yen daily chart, and from my perspective, the main question that I'm looking at is that if this is a ABC formation that has been completed and price has ran into resistance level and could turn back down again. That's, I think, the most likely scenario at this moment. But if price were to break through this resistance zone right here, then I might consider that, you know, a different kind of structure than what I think at this moment is going to occur, which is basically a correction up to the 61.8 fib, as you can see, hit the 61.8, and I think there's a good chance that price could get down to the minus 272 target at 105-ish, 105.25. So from this perspective, I think there could be this move. I don't think it will happen in one straight move. I think there could be some ABC zigzag like this, and I wouldn't be surprised if price bounces at this support line, gets a bit of traction there to the upside, but then falls down to that 272 target. So for the moment, I think it's bearish, but will this outlook get confirmed? And I think that that's important too, because this is just one scenario. Still, there is the chance that this is a retracement for an uptrend continuation. So very important from my perspective is how price will respond to this weekly pivot point, if it gets there. If it breaks above it, then this could be a correction within basically this upside, and there could be an upside continuation. There could be space between the pivot point and R1, and then above R1, if it gets above 114, up to R2 and 115. So that's upside potential there. But for the moment, if price stays below that weekly pivot point, I think that there's a good chance of this continuing. You can see price hit the 38.2 fib. I just wanted to say that that's an important level, just like the 50, 61.8. That those are all turning spots, and that could be a continuation at these levels. So as long as price stays below the green level there and hits or uses these fibs, I think that this is a bearish scenario. You can see that price is basically using this kind of correction formation here. So if it breaks below the support trend line, I think there's a good chance of a continuation down to 111.50, and then later on basically to 111 and then 110. So that's what I'm expecting if price breaks through the support and stays below resistance. The euro dollar, I think, is at an interesting spot. It could basically be respecting resistance right here, and if it stays below that, I think there's a good chance that price will retrace deeper. If it breaks above it, then the uptrend might continue if price breaks above 115 as well. So 115 and this trend line are key levels, 115 and 115.25, by the way. That's a key resistance zone, and if price breaks above that, I think that there's a good chance of an uptrend continuation. So far, we're in a triangle, and that's something I already warned for here. I said this is most likely going to move up to 114.50, see a rejection, and we're going to probably build a triangle. That's exactly what happened, and we're now in that triangle. So price will need to break above or below this triangle before we have an idea about the longer term direction. If it breaks to either side, I think there's a good chance of that trend dominating for a while. Below support, I would say S1 to S2 is a good space. Ultimately, though, I think the euro dollar in its medium outlook is bullish, and I would expect price basically, if it breaks through 114, to go down to 113, 112.50, and bounce at these potential fibs. We can take a look at the daily chart here, and I think that this is an okay fib. We can also use even this fib perhaps, which I think is what I'm showing on my wave analysis. And no, I think I'm showing this one actually. Yes. So 112.50, 111.60. You can check, of course, yourself on wave analysis to see which fib I'm using from a wave perspective. But basically 112.50, 113.30, 111.50, those are support levels to reckon with if price does make a bearish breakout and does make a retracement. So when the price does this, right, those are levels to reckon with and still could provide very strong support within the overall downtrend. If price does break above resistance, then great. There could be an immediate continuation rather than a pullback first before the uptrend continues. So overall, I'm bullish, as you can see, for the moment at least, and that might change depending on how deep price might retrace. For the moment, though, it's looking bullish. It's just making a triangle. If it breaks below the weekly pivot point, I would think about potential for a move down like this, but that's a small kind of zone, so not the most interesting. So those are my key levels here on the euro dollar. More info at atmomarkets.com, www.atmomarkets.com. Of course, you can find out analytics and the upcoming webinars right there. See you soon. Cheers.